WWE 2016. This year was god awful. Perhaps the worst year that I've seen from this company. This was the first year that I truly began to hate them. Now, you did have some good moments, but a lot of times this year, it was boring. They made a lot of mistakes and a lot of decisions that I did not just like. But just like last year, they started off pretty good. The Royal Rumble 2016. That event, you had Roman Reigns. He was defending his WWE title in the Rumble match. He was the number one entrant. And I was fine with that. You had AJ Styles make his debut in the Royal Rumble. He lasted about 30 minutes before being eliminated by Kevin Owens. I was excited for AJ in the Rumble. You had Triple H win the Rumble. He eliminated Dean Ambrose to win it, and he won the title. So that was pretty good. Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens had a great match as well. Dean Ambrose defeated Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title. That was awesome. But then the other matches, I just couldn't care for. Kalisto defeated Alberto Del Rio for United States Championship. And right there, they started to ruin Alberto Del Rio. They brought him back. He beat John Cena for the U.S. title. He's doing so good for a couple of months, and now they're ruining him by having him lose to Kalisto. Doesn't make any sense. You also have Charlotte Flair defeat Becky Lynch. She retained the Divas Championship, and this is when I started to turn on Charlotte Flair because Ric Flair was by her side too much. She was cheating to win over and over again. At first she showed some resentment to Rick, but then she just accepted it, and that's what ruined Charlotte. She was too close to Ric Flair. Ric Flair did not really need to be there. Like Charlotte in October and September 2015 because she was on her own. It's where she needs to be, but Ric Flair, he's got too much involved. But overall, the Royal Rumble, it was alright. The night after the Royal Rumble, as we head into the road to WrestleMania, it was pretty eventful. You have Triple H coming out. He was gloating that he was the WWE champion. And for Fastlane, to find out who he would face at WrestleMania, they set up a triple threat match. Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. I enjoyed their build going into Fastlane. It was violent, it was brutal, extreme. Like seeing them take out Brock Lesnar, like Brock Lesnar F5ing Roman and Ambrose. A lot of physicality, so it made up for Roman and Brock at 31, because they didn't have a lot of physicality. But I wouldn't have done that match. They also said they would evaluate everyone's performance that night. And we had some interesting matchups. We had Bray Wyatt and Kane, AJ Styles and Chris Jericho. My triple threat match would have been Roman versus Bray versus AJ. So on the night, you had Bray Wyatt defeat Kane, AJ Styles defeat Chris Jericho. An awesome match. It was a great test for AJ Styles. He won. So, I was kind of worried there for a second, but he proved the haters wrong. You also had The Rock show up. He had a segment with the Usos, and they took out the New Day. He came there to announce that he would be at WrestleMania. Things are going off to a pretty good start so far. You get the Fastlane. This was a pretty good event. They had Roman Reigns victorious over Brock and Ambrose. I enjoyed the match. You had AJ Styles defeat Chris Jericho. In match 3, they had a best-of-3 series. AJ won on Raw. Jericho won a rematch on SmackDown. AJ won tonight. And then Charlotte Flair defeats Brie Bella. Once again, Ric Flair by her side. Don't really care. Then the night after, man, we began our WrestleMania build. So I enjoyed the build to the Royal Rumble. I enjoyed our build to Fastlane. But just like the past 2 years, the final leg to WrestleMania, it was just boring. So we started tonight with Shane McMahon making a shocking return. Vince McMahon was unveiling the Vince McMahon the Vincent James McMahon Award. He wore to Stephanie. I predicted it. Whoever thought Cena would come out and erupt Stephanie, but no, it was Shane McMahon. He hasn't been in WWE for over 10 years. So he came back. He told Vince he wants control over the company. He wants to run Monday Night Raw. And he brought up a few indicators like the ratings, the talent injuries that were going on, because there were a lot of big injuries at that time. The stock dropping. And he blamed all that on Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. He wants to run Raw. Vince McMahon said he can do that as long as he has one match, one place, one time. So he'll name the place, he'll name the time. It was at WrestleMania. This match was against The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. I was excited for it. This was the best feud going into WrestleMania. You had Vince McMahon denouncing Shane as his son. You had The Undertaker working for him. They actually got into a fist fight for a couple of weeks. The Undertaker chokeslammed Shane, and Shane put Undertaker through the announce table. That was probably the best feud going into it. I was really interested in that matchup. The Jericho and AJ Styles. That was pretty cool. I don't really like that they're facing off again. AJ's beaten Jericho twice. Jericho's beaten him once. Doesn't make sense that they're fighting at Mania, but that was pretty cool. But everything else was either okay or I just don't care for. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. Sasha Banks didn't care for it. Didn't like how they built towards the match. They took some pages out of NXT's book, but didn't care. Roman Triple H was alright. They had a pull-apart brawl right after Fastlane. But Roman broke his nose. He was off TV for 3 weeks, so they didn't really have a whole lot of build. They had another pull-up brawl on the go-home show, but they didn't really care. Brock and Ambrose is alright. Like seeing Brock suplex Ambrose a bunch of times, and Ambrose give Brock Lesnar a dirty deeds, but I would have done Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt. I'd have Bray Wyatt play mind games to Lesnar. It's better than what Bray Wyatt did at WrestleMania, but it's okay, but overall, a boring build towards WrestleMania. Just like 15 and just like 14. WrestleMania 32. By far, this is the worst WrestleMania I ever saw. It's the first WrestleMania I saw live. And it gives me nightmares and cold chills to this day. A lot of decisions that just mind boggle me. It was also long, tiring. Yeah. But we started off pretty good. We started off with Zack Ryder winning the Intercontinental title. That was pretty cool. But then you have the Usos beat the Dudleys in a tables match. So you have the Dudleys lose at WrestleMania. They've buried the Dudleys. Ever since they came back out of their SummerSlam, they've lost and lost and lost. Charlotte Flair won the women's title. The new Raw Women's Championship that was unveiled at WrestleMania. They didn't care for it. Ric Flair gets involved. He cheated. She cheated again. I can't stand Ric Flair getting involved in every single Charlotte Flair match. She doesn't need Ric Flair. She's greater on her own, but Ric maybe dislikes Charlotte. It should have been Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch. Should not have been Charlotte. She was already a Divas champion. I'm still calling her the Divas champion because, you want to start off fresh, a women's division. Start off a new champion, not Charlotte. Don't have Rick constantly interfere. Boring. But you know what? I'm fine with it. I'm fine. You had Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, and Mick Foley come out. They attacked the New Day in League of Nations. That was pretty good. You had Brock Lesnar defeat Dean Ambrose. That was alright. It was a short match. It was a street fight. They didn't really do a lot of things extreme, but my boy Brock Lesnar won. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho defeats AJ Styles. This was the match that really pissed me off for the rest of the night. So it really made me not like WrestleMania. This is the match that kind of just broke my heart. You bring AJ Styles in, you're trying to build him up as the next star, have him lose to Chris Jericho. Now I get it, Chris Jericho's the veteran. You're supposed to you're supposed to go over the younger star. But however, at WrestleMania 29, he put over Fandango. He takes the pin to Fandango. Couldn't do the same to AJ. So now their match series tied to the two. Doesn't make sense that they're fighting. I would have Jericho fight Ambrose, Brock, Bray Wyatt, AJ, and Kevin Owens. So, Roman Reigns, Triple H. Roman Reigns defeats Triple H. This match was alright, but by the time this match came on the air, it was 11 o'clock. I was tired, ready to go to bed. Most of that because The Rock and John Cena took up like 45 minutes. You had the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders coming out, doing their stuff, and then The Rock's entrance hit. I was excited to see The Rock there. He comes out, takes him like 20 minutes to get to the ring. He does his entrance, does his pose, and he talks about, WrestleMania breaking the all-time attendance record. You have Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family come out, they interrupt them. And The Rock challenges one of the members to a match. Eric Rowan gets in. The Rock bombs him in 6 seconds. He wins. It's alright. Bray Wyatt still gets buried. He lost to John Cena, WrestleMania 30. Should have beaten him. Lost to The Undertaker, 31. Should have beaten him. He should have retired The Undertaker. The Undertaker should have retired at WrestleMania 28. Should have lost to Triple H. Retired after Brock Lesnar. Or Bray Wyatt should have retired him. He should have been the next Undertaker. Tonight he should have beaten The Rock. But The Rock beats Eric Rowan. The Wyatt family corners The Rock. Here comes John Cena. They clear house. And they stand tall. Then you had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It took about another 30 minutes. You have like an hour and 15 minutes of The Rock and Cena in the Battle Royal. That was all before we got to the main event. It was like 10 o'clock and this stuff came on. Main event came on at 11. Baron Corbin won that Battle Royal. That was alright. Undertaker defeats Shane McMahon inside Hell in a Cell. I kind of wanted Shane to win. I wish Sting interfered. Cost Undertaker his match, but Sting had to retire the Hall of Fame. So I'm fine with Undertaker win. He gets his annual win like he should. Whatever. The only thing I like about the match was Shane McMahon jumping off the cell. But, whatever. This WrestleMania gets a 6 out of 10. It was worse than 30. Don't know how, but this was just awful. Awful. Terrible. Yeah. Could have done much more with it. A lot of matches I didn't care for. A lot of decisions I didn't like. Now they did have a lot of talent injuries. Cena was injured. Orton was injured. Rollins was injured. All the champions that came out of WrestleMania 31 were injured. I had Sting get injured. Sin Cara, members of the League of Nations, had some minor injuries. There's a major injury bug at the end of 2015. But that's no excuse why this show sucked. But, again, the road to SummerSlam. The road to SummerSlam was alright. I enjoyed the build towards Payback. You had AJ Styles defeat Chris Jericho and Cesaro and Kevin Owens in a fatal 4-way. The winner fought Roman Reigns at Payback. AJ Styles won the match. He fought Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns emerged victorious over AJ Styles. This was an awesome match. Which AJ won, but Roman's victorious. So I enjoyed the build. Kevin Owens defeated Sami Zayn, continuing their rivalry from WrestleMania. You had Dean Ambrose defeat Chris Jericho. The Miz defeated Cesaro. Cesaro should have won that match. Then you have Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Vince out there deciding who should run Monday Night Raw. And Vince decided they should run it together. So Payback was pretty good. It made up for WrestleMania. Extreme Rules. Overall, it's a pretty good event. We had Gallows and Anderson. They make their debut. They took out the Usos. We had Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho fighting inside of a steel cage. That was alright. AJ and Roman had a rematch. That was pretty good. Roman walks out victorious. At the end of the night, Seth Rollins come in and attack Roman Reigns. He's back from injury. Pay-per-view was alright. The build didn't care for, because there was just a lot of rematches. A lot of matches from Payback happened on this show. It was like rematch city. And we saw the Club face the New Day and the Shield. Well, not the Shield. We saw the Club face the New Day and Roman Reigns and the Usos just too many times. Didn't care about that, but overall, Extreme Rules was alright. So we're making up for WrestleMania. Money in the Bank. Loved it. Loved the event. Loved the build. Dean Ambrose wins Money in the Bank. Right decision there. AJ Styles and John Cena. Incredible build. Towards Money in the Bank. I was excited for this match. I wanted to see these two fight each other for a long time. AJ Styles wins. A great test for him. He needed to win. He lost at WrestleMania. He lost to Roman Reigns twice. If he lost to Cena here, that would not be good. So I'm glad they gave him the victory. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, the main event. Seth Rollins shockingly upsets Roman. I was happy for that. You know, I know some people don't like Roman. I kind of do, but I was happy to see Seth win it back. Then Dean Ambrose comes down, cashes in, becomes WWE Champion. Great moment. They also had the Dudley Boys lose to the Lucha Dragons, Sin Cara, and Kalisto. They lost like in a fatal 4-way for the tag team titles, along with the Club, Gallows and Anderson. Don't know why you're having the Dudleys losing. Don't know why you have Gallows and Anderson losing. That's when they started ruining the Club. That's when they started ruining the Dudley Boys. Then you have Battleground. Another pretty good event. The Shield had a triple threat match. Roman, Seth, and Dean. And for Battleground, this is right after Roman Reigns got suspended. He got suspended for a drug violation. So they set up a triple threat match. Dean Ambrose walks out victorious. It's a pretty good moment. Sami Zayn gets a victory. Glad they're starting to push him. He gets a victory over Kevin Owens. Cena and Enzo and Cass defeat the Club and AJ Styles. Kind of makes sense. AJ won Money in the Bank. Cena has to get his win back, but don't know why having the Club losing. Highlight reel of Chris Jericho. He interviews Randy Orton. Randy Orton announced that he's having a match with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. So Orton makes his return. So we're seeing a lot of people start to make the return from injury here. So they had a present build towards SummerSlam so far. And then the next night, there's an announcement that shook the company to its core. The brain extension coming back. Intrigued by it. Ed Mick Foley is the general manager of Raw. Stephanie McMahon is the commissioner of Raw. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar were drafted the Raw. Shane McMahon was playing the commissioner of SmackDown with Daniel Bryan as their general manager. AJ Styles, John Cena, and Dean Ambrose drafted the SmackDown. So the rosters are split. So the next night of Raw was a pretty good episode. One of the best I've seen in a while. You had Finn Balor defeat Roman Reigns. He entered a feud with Seth Rollins. Sasha Banks won the women's title. Happy about that. You have Randy Orton invade Raw and RKO Brock Lesnar. So that was pretty good. And over on SmackDown, you had Dolph Ziggler do a feud with Dean Ambrose. You know, one thing I love about Dolph Ziggler is usually in the summertime is when he puts on his best performances, his best feuds, his best matches. He did that with Chris Jericho. He did it with The Miz. He did it with Rusev. He's doing it now with Dean Ambrose. You also have AJ Styles and John Cena having a rubber match at SummerSlam, continuing their feud. So the build towards SummerSlam, it was alright. Wasn't perfect, but they started off pretty strong. Now the build towards SummerSlam was pretty good. However, SummerSlam, the event, was not. It's just like WrestleMania. Long, boring. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. You had Charlotte Flair walk away with the women's title. Don't like it. You know, she had, I believe Dana Brooke was there by her side. She cheated to win again. You know, Sasha Banks should have had a longer reign. She had a 3-week long reign. They did not need to put the title back on Charlotte. Didn't care for that. You had the Dudley Boys lose to Sami Zayn and Neville. Don't know why you're having the Dudleys losing. For a year now, they've been losing. At the New Day, lose to the Club. That was good, but it was by disqualification. So New Day retains their tag titles. Yeah. Didn't care about that. You have Enzo and Cass lose to Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Thought Enzo and Cass might win, but Owens Jericho won. Enzo and Cass not looking too good. They're starting to get buried. But Owens Jericho, they did make a nice team though. But yeah, I didn't really start enjoying the show until the main event matches, such as Finn Balor defeating Seth Rollins for his title. Great move to put on Finn Balor. Dean Ambrose defeated Dolph Ziggler. That was alright. AJ Styles defeated John Cena. Best match of the night. AJ Styles, rightful winner. Main event, Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. It's alright. Brock Lesnar gets a TKO victory. Randy Orton, he busts his head open. He starts bleeding everywhere. Which was more of a clean pinfall victory, but I'll take it. Shane McMahon runs into the ring, gets F5 by Lesnar. SummerSlam started off boring, but at the end of the night, it was whatever. Give it a 6 out of 10. Just like WrestleMania. Boring. So the road to WrestleMania, boring. Road towards SummerSlam, was alright. It was after SummerSlam where the problems began to kick in. I really started to hate the WWE. It's really, I really didn't care about them all past this point. You had Seth Rollins. Finn Balor got hurt. He had to vacate the title. Kevin Owens won the title. You had Triple H turn on Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens, Universal Champion. It was great. You had an alright feud with Seth Rollins, but their matches at Night Champions held until ended the same way. Kevin Owens won. Whoever Chris Jericho always interfered, Owens wins. And Jericho just overshadowed Owens. Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks. They kept flip-flopping titles back and forth, back and forth. They didn't care. Boring. They may have had great matches, but they didn't care. Gallows and Anderson, they continued to get buried. They were dressed up as like doctors, doing some ring post-itis gimmick. They were separated from AJ Styles. They were dead and buried. They started burying Sami Zayn, stuff like that. Didn't really care. They brought on the Cruiserweights. TJ Perkins was crowned the new Cruiserweight champion. Cruiserweight Classic aired earlier in the summer. It was alright, but the Cruiserweights came to Raw and they just got a bunch of 3-minute matches that didn't mean anything. Most of them were tag team matches or triple threats. And TJ Perkins, the first champion, liked his work in TNA, but they just buried him. Lost the title to Brian Kendrick, and the Cruiserweights have never really recovered since then. However, the SmackDown side was awesome. Loved the feud between Styles and Ambrose. Styles won the WWE title at Backlash. Randy Orton was part of the Wyatt family. Miz and Dolph Ziggler had a great feud over the Intercontinental title. They were also pushing their younger stars, such as Alexa Bliss, American Alpha, and Becky Lynch. SmackDown was better. However, they did not get a lot of views. Next pay-per-view was Survivor Series. It was a pretty good event. I love the Team Raw vs. SmackDown match. Team SmackDown won. And I thought Raw would win, but Team SmackDown won. Before this on SmackDown, The Undertaker came out. Says if Team SmackDown doesn't win, there's going to be hell to pay. So I thought Raw was going to win, and AJ Styles, who was the champion at the time, was going to answer to The Undertaker. But SmackDown won. The Wyatt family stood tall at the end. So as they should. Main event, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. Goldberg coming back after 12 years. He wants Brock Lesnar. Goldberg squashes Brock Lesnar in 30 seconds. Shocking. It was awesome. And at the end of the year, nothing really much mattered. Seth Rollins feuding with Chris Jericho. That was alright. Roman Reigns feuding Kevin Owens. Alright. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair still flip-flopping titles. Didn't care for that. Styles and Ambrose was pretty good. And Braun Strowman started to get a push. And that was your 2016 year in review. Awful. A lot of decisions they made didn't like. Well, WrestleMania and SummerSlam, they were long, they were boring, didn't care. A lot of talent, they didn't push correctly. A lot of creative decisions that just really bothered me. So I really started to hate them. So this year probably gets a 6 out of 10. Or, 2012, awesome. Give it like a 10 out of 10. 13 was an 8. 14 was a 6. 15 was an 8. This year, I'm going to bump it down to a 5. Close to being a 6 like 2014, but this year's just boring, man. Boring road to WrestleMania. Boring after SummerSlam. But yeah, 5 out of 10. One of the worst years I ever saw.